just to make sure everybody is still awake. How many here are excited to be in the house of God tonight? I heard you guys shout louder at Manny Pacquiao concerts. Manny Pacquiao fights. How many here are excited to be in the house of God? Again, my name is Wendell. I'm a youth and worship minister from Jesus is Alive Fellowship all the way in Vallejo, California. And I just came here to share a quick testimony. But before I start, I always like to start with something kind of funny. And this isn't doctrinally correct, it's just to make us laugh. I heard about Jack and Jim. They were arguing whether Jesus was white or whether Jesus was black. Jack said Jesus was white. Jim kept saying, no, dude, he's black. Be it as it may, they both died at the same time, and they got to the pearly gates in heaven, and much to their surprise, when they saw Jesus come out, he said, Buenos dias. Anyways, carrying on, I just had a quick testimony to share, and about 4 years ago, in 2007, I was actually living in New Jersey. I grew up there, I grew up in church, and I was youth president at my church there in New Jersey. And I had a dream in my heart to move to California to be an actor, to be a model. It's always been my passion. I've always been up here to entertain people. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to leave mom and dad and fly all the way across the country to pursue my dream. And I tried to make it happen on my own. Yes, I believed God would help me, but it was a dream and a plan that I had. In our life, I've learned that sometimes we have plans and we have dreams, but sometimes God's plan is different than our own plan. When I came to do that, I noticed that doors kept closing. Even though I stepped in and had gigs here and there, doors kept closing in front of me. Even last year, I actually went all the way to the Caribbean island to do a modeling fashion shoot. I actually walked the runway. I had my makeup done by P. Diddy and Wendy Williams as a makeup artist. It was a great experience. But nothing really came out of that. And I kept wondering, God, I'm living my life for you, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm giving tithes, I'm giving offerings. Why aren't any doors opening for my dream? Then I realized that in April of 2008, when I first moved here, I was going to a mega church in Concord. It was called Calvary Temple. And when you go to a big church, you kind of come in and then you go out. You don't fellowship the way we fellowship here. You don't get to be used by God as much as you could. And I met a man by the name of Pastor Nat Pajarillo, and he invited me to his church. It was a Filipino congregation. I decided coming over there. And then a year later, not only did I become a member, but I became a youth and worship minister. And then I realized that, I came to California, to be a model, to be an actor, to be on the cover of Forbes magazine, to be, on the big screen. But God's plan for me was to be a minister. And it's an amazing thing. Because God's dream for your life is a lot bigger than your own. And in this past year, in February 2011, I actually started my own nonprofit organization. It's called Wendell PLA Ministries. It consists of my YouTube page, my website, and I have an online media podcast. It's called Hope Now. It's designed to bring hope and encouragement. Because we all know we're living in a day where the world is going through a global economic crisis. Millions are unemployed. There are natural disasters that are looming left and right. But in spite of all that, I want everyone here to know that no matter what you've done, no matter what you're going through, and no matter how many mistakes you've made, that there's still hope. Hope that is found in God alone. And lastly, again, I have my own plan, I have my own dream. And the beautiful thing about God is that He's like a GPS navigation system. I use a GPS to get here from Vallejo. And if you notice, when you type in a GPS, you put in the address and it helps get you to where you want to go. But sometimes, even though you have a GPS, sometimes you make a wrong turn. Sometimes you miss your exit. But the beautiful thing about it is that even though you miss your exit, it recalculates the route to still get you to where you need to go. And God is the same way. Sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we try to do our own plan, but you know what? God still calculates that, and He's so full of mercy that He'll still get you to where you need to be. And lastly, in closing, I know everyone here is hungry. I encourage you all to put God first place in your life. He will take you to places that you've never even dreamed of. Amen. God bless you all.